The annual PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 rankings dropped this week. It is worth reminding people, as I do every year, this is a worked list based solely on kayfabe. It is not something worth getting too worked up about, but it is always interesting to see who they ranked and where they ranked. The evaluation period for this year was August 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2024, and it weighs the following criteria: win-loss record, championships won, quality of competition, major feuds, prominence within a wrestler's promotion, and overall wrestling ability. So here's the top 10. Number 1 on the list, topping this year's list, Cody Rhodes, who moves from number 10 last year to the top spot this year. Now, this would include his win over Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam last year. It would include leading his team to victory in War Games, winning his second straight Royal Rumble match, which had not been done in 26 years. He feuded with The Rock. He got not one but two WrestleMania main events, including Night 2, where he ended the run that Roman Reigns had been on since 2020 and won the championship. And it would include the 2 title defenses he had against AJ Styles. All of that would be included, and he now is the face of WWE. I mean, it would be Roman Reigns, but Roman isn't around enough to be considered the face anymore. Cody's the one who's full-time. Cody's the one who's been putting in the work. Now, the creative has not been great. Some people may scoff at this and say, oh, this run has been boring. This run has been terrible. Creative has not been great. The last few months of his run have left a lot to be desired through no fault of his own. But I have no issue with Cody taking the top spot. That's exactly where I would have him, and I think it's a tough argument against him being number 1. So that makes sense. Number 2 was Swerve Strickland. Now, can you believe Swerve Strickland, especially after the year that he's had, ranked at number 112 last year? He shot up from 112 all the way to number 2. Now, this period covers his first 2 matches with Hangman Page, which is what cemented him as a top-tier talent. It cemented him as a main event player in AEW. It would include his World Championship win at Dynasty and that incredible match that he had with Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door, which he won, by the way. So Swerve being number 2, again, that makes sense to me also. I think so far so good with what I see ranked here. I have no issue with Swerve being number 2. I would not have him at number 1. I know that might bother some people, but it shouldn't. I think so far they got it right. Number 3, Will Ospreay, which is up from number 17 last year. He is now in the top 3. It's Will Ospreay, so I mean, you're not going to get an argument out of me having him in the top 3 of your top 500 list. I think bell to bell, when it comes to just matches and in-ring ability, Will Ospreay would be number 1. So when you take all of the other criteria into consideration, him at number 3, I don't have an issue with that. Number 4, Seth Rollins, who ranked number 1 on last year's list. Now he comes in at number 4. Tetsuya Naito at number 5, the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Now here is a man in Naito who did not even rank in 2023, which sounds preposterous. Even if he had a down year, how does Tetsuya Naito not make a list for the top 500 wrestlers in the world? I mean, do you see some of the names on this list? But as it turned out, it was an oversight on the part of the editors, and they admitted that they made a mistake. So he goes from not even being on the list to ranking in the top 5. Naito would not be in my top 5. This is the first one where I looked at it and said, I have an issue with this. Naito would not be in my top 5. But for a kayfabe list that weighs accomplishments, he won the G1 Climax. He won the IWGP belt from Sonata at the Tokyo Dome. Then he lost the title to Jon Moxley, but he won it back in June at Forbidden Door. So that's a G1 win and 2 world titles. By the criteria of this list, it's hard to argue. Number 6, Damien Priest, who moves up 65 spots from where he ranked last year. I mean, inarguably, he just had the best year of his career. I mean, you could dispute his spot on the list, but you cannot dispute that the man just had his best year in the business. He's been part of one of the top heel factions in that company and in all of wrestling. Based purely on the amount of TV time they get and all the different storylines they've been involved in, all the segments they get every week. He's certainly been getting a lot of face time. He won the World Championship at WrestleMania. He's had a few PLE main events. Number 7, MJF, who was down one spot from number 6 last year. It's debatable that I would even have him this high up on the list, considering he missed over 5 months due to injury. 5 months out of this evaluation period, he was gone. But it would include a chunk of his run as the AEW World Champion, including the Wembley Stadium match with Adam Cole and their whole storyline together. It would include that great collision match that he had with Kenny Omega. And it would include, and also, he had the matches with Jay White and with Samoa Joe at World's End. Whatever you thought of the matches themselves, he did headline those pay-per-views. And it would also include the hour-long match on Dynamite that he had with Will Ospreay. So it's debatable having him at number 7, but you could argue for it for sure. You could definitely make the argument. Number 8, Jon Moxley. Number 9, Gunther. So that would include, most of it would be from his run as the Intercontinental Champion. And Gunther was having great matches on TV with so many different people, not just Chad Gable, but just a bunch of different people. Obviously the match at WrestleMania with Sami Zayn. So it would not include any of him winning the World Championship or anything like that. But, Gunther being in the top 10, absolutely. Number 10, Mystico. We'll go through the top 25. Number 11, Samoa Joe. Number 12, Sami Zayn. Number 13, Drew McIntyre. He should be higher up on this list. Drew McIntyre is top 10 easily for this past year. Number 14, Bryan Danielson, who should be much higher than he is here. I don't know why these two are ranked so low. Number 15, Moose. Number 16, Sonata. Number 17, Jey Uso. Rikishi is going to be furious. Number 18, El Hijo del Vikingo. Number 19, Mustafa Ali. Number 20, Eddie Kingston. Number 21, Kazuchika Okada. Number 22, Nick Nemeth. Number 23, Alex Shelley. Number 24, Orange Cassidy. And number 25, Alex Kane, who works for MLW and had won the MLW World Championship during that time. In other spots, I was just perusing the list here and had a few interesting observations here. Logan Paul came in at number 37. EC3 came in at number 40 as the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion for much of that period. Hangman Adam Page actually ranked below EC3 at number 42. Joe Hendry was number 51. Jacob Fatu was down at number 94. I want you to bookmark this and come back in a year. He's going to be a hell of a lot higher than 94. Wardlow ranked at number 246, which was 11 spots higher than Austin Theory. And Ricky Starks was all the way down at number 352. This is despite having matches with CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and winning the AEW tag team titles. He was ranked below Wardlow for the year. I don't fucking understand that at all. But how about this? For the first time since 2012, Roman Reigns did not rank in the top 100 of the PWI 500. Not only did he not rank in the top 100, he didn't rank in the top 500. He was not on the list at all. And that's not an oversight. Those are just the rules. The rules are that a wrestler needs to have at least 10 matches or 6 matches in 6 unique months within the review period in order to qualify. Roman only had 6 matches total, 2 of which came on back-to-back days in the month of April. So therefore, he did not meet the criteria. Therefore, Roman Reigns is not in the PWI 500. As far as who my top 5 would have been, I would have had Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson, and Gunther. That would have been my top 5.